What's up, guys? I just looked at the polls and everything, and it seems that y'all love Finland, so I am gonna start the civilization in Finland, like everybody wants. So, let's get this going. Um, I'm not gonna be doing capitals yet, but there will be incorporation of capitals and all sorts of things to the videos, and it's all out just gonna be a good Wicso inspired by Ada's Pro and A Norwegian. I really like the Wicso videos, so I'm starting my own. So I hope y'all can enjoy this. But other than that, let's get started. So we got this red team just living in Finland because of how many people liked Finland. But they're just gonna explore a lot because they don't want to live in the cold. Nobody wants to live in Finland. It's too cold. So they're just gonna travel over here, and I will have to fix this little area right over here later. But we're just gonna go down by the coast, in the Baltic Sea. Now these guys have really hard troubles communicating with the leader over here. So that's going to be shown in a rebellion by the blue Estonian country. Now, the blue Estonian country is just going to be a sliver of land. There's nothing much you can do at the start of your civilization other than just follow coasts because you need lots of water constantly. But they're just going to expand a bit along with the red team. But the red team's gonna hate the Estonians, which I would not blame them. They did just rebel from them, but they really can't do anything since they're so early in civilization. And there's lots of room to expand and everything. So they're just gonna continue expanding and exploring, especially this blue team. They're just gonna expand it all down Estonia. Now they're gonna live much better than the um Finns just because they have more room to expand than the Finns do. But the Finns overall, they're just trying, and then they discover this lake. Um the Estonians are prospering. There's really not much they can do to expand in Finland, but Estonia's just great compared to Finland. The Nordics are always cold, but Finland's less cold than some places, like in Upper Finland. Nobody can survive here. Almost nobody. But they're gonna just do some expansion and explore into Latvia and Lithuania. And then we're gonna see massive expansion over here. Constant expansion. Not that much. That's my bad. Still experimenting with this. And I'm also trying out OBS, which that's a little hard to use compared to what I have done for my first video. But it looks a lot better, I will say that. Now, the Finns don't really have any use for a navy, but the Blue Estonians do because they just conquered these islands. Which, honestly, I love the border up here. I'm gonna expand that border real quick so it looks just better. There's so much I can do with this border. Yeah, there we go. But what we're gonna see over here is another civilization just further away from anyone like over here and all. They're just gonna be in Sweden and the Danish islands. Copenhagen. We haven't really had any major rebellions since the blue team. But the red team really can't do nothing. No valuable land. So they're just gonna be mainly trying to live off of the coast in the warmer parts. But honestly, their people are tired of the cold. And I would be too if it was that cold. That's why their population's so low right now. But they do love the coast over here. So their population centered over here around Leningrad and what's now St. Petersburg again. That name changes too much. The Estonians are just gonna expand along the coast more. Nothing they can really do to expand too far out. But they are gonna start doing some major farming instead of just fishing. But as soon as they try to do that, the red team's just gonna try focusing on their military to take out Finland. Not Finland. Estonia. Which honestly, I would hate Estonia too. Because all they did was rebel against them and take all their good land. And then just the Swedes are just chill. They got better land, too. They're probably going to do better than the red team and the blue team, to be honest. Um, they do a little bit of expansion, not much, but they're just gonna explore all of this in Germania, noticing the warmer climate, but it's still cold. But they're fine with it because they have been living in the cold all their time on this little area in the Baltic Sea. But a little bit of expansion into the Benelux is going to happen. But not many areas are going to be colonized or taken over from this area just because it's so far away. But we are going to see Germania break away as a small team, which I don't blame them. Their government really had little control over them. So Germania just did what they wanted. Either way, nothing much changed after their independence. Because naval technology ain't really good yet. But Copenhagen's really helping the Swedes out. But here we're gonna have in Estonia just some massive expansion. And some people just want to go down, see what's over here. So they're going to go over here. But the government's going to stop funding them. They've lost their funds to explore and take over land. And they're going to be mad. They're going to be very mad at their government. And they're just going to rebel, forming the first orange country in this Polish Russian area, Lithuania-ish. The orange team. They're just gonna explore and then bam, first major fight. The Estonians are gonna be like, no. We told you you couldn't expand over here. You didn't listen. And now you're gonna pay. But they're gonna be like, no. And retake back their starting borders and slowly push into Estonia, cutting off their two parts of their country, forming a new country, the pink country, which is not going to fight much in this war, just send troops over, and then the red team's going to get involved too by just going after the blue team, liberating the red team troops, people from the blue team. Liberation, that's what they're going to war with them for. But we all know it's just to claim land to make their people happier. But Estonia is just going to be pushed over here until they are super small and then they peace out. So what we're going to see is the peace treaty of the collapsing of the blue team. So the blue team's just going to be mad, stuck in this small little area in Estonia. Well, that's going to do it for today. We're going to see more expansion from Germania very soon. And then Central Europe's going to have a big play. Then the Nordics are going to be discovered more. I don't think I'm going to be forming any other nations, but I am going to add capitals while I'm gone. So that will be cool. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day.